Elizabeth from Gabriel Family Adventures, and today I'm going to share a quick video with you all about transportation if you are traveling to Cabo San Lucas or San Jose del Cabo, Mexico. And if you haven't been to my channel before, check it out. Feel free to subscribe. I have a lot of reviews on different resorts and places we've been, and a lot of trips coming up in the future to review as well, both in Central America, the US, and we're going to Europe in a few weeks, so you'll definitely want to check that out. Okay, Cabo. I've been to Cabo several times. I love it. My husband and I got married in Cabo. It's a wonderful place. And one of the best things about it is if you're traveling from the United States, it is a direct flight that's actually pretty short from a lot of major airport hubs. So, you know, San Francisco, Denver, Dallas, places like that. And back in the day when I first started going to Cabo, many years ago, feels like a lifetime, what I always recommended to my friends and what I did myself was I would just walk out of the airport, you know, try to ignore all of the timeshare salesmen and walk out to the front and get a taxi. And at the time it cost me $11 US. So super easy and convenient. Now you can still do that. You can go that route, but instead of paying $11, you're going to be paying per person significantly more than that. So you're going to be paying, you know, potentially $30 to $40. And if you're in a big group, sometimes you can negotiate with the taxis or vans to get a slightly lower rate, but you're definitely paying more. Prices have gone up. So what are some other options you have? Now, the San Jose del Cabo airport is pretty small. That's what you fly into to go to Cabo or San Jose del Cabo. Regardless of where you're staying, you'll fly into San Jose. And if you book through certain travel sites, so for example, Costco often bundles airport transportation with their packages. So that's something to think about if you want to use Costco travel. And some pros and cons of doing that is when you get off of your airplane, go through customs, which is usually a very quick process in San Jose del Cabo. And when you head out, usually you'll find your travel person and they'll send you an email with kind of what to look for, what signs they're holding, stuff like that. And they'll check you off of a list, put you on a van. You might have to wait for another family or two to fill the van, and then they'll take you off to your resort, and they might have to make 1 or 2 stops along the way. But if it's included in your price of booking, sometimes it's worth it just to not have to, you know, find some money at the airport. The other thing we learned about is there's a little airport hack. Now, Uber has recently come to Cabo, which is great for a lot of reasons. We used Uber very successfully when we were in Bogota, Colombia last year, and it took a lot of the stress out of kind of haggling prices. I do speak a little Spanish, but definitely not enough to have a intellectual conversation. So using Uber, I felt like we were getting a fair price. I knew where we were going. So we had heard you could use Uber also in Cabo, but there's a trick. You can't actually summon Uber from the airport. It's banned. Which, you know, is a protection for the taxi drivers and those people, right, protecting their jobs. But between the 2 terminals, there is a convenience store. And if you want to schlep your bags over to the convenience store, you can call Uber from the store. So something to think about, and we only learned that actually later on in our trip. So we ended up taking a van. We booked through Costco, so we took their van. Now, the other thing about some of the pre-planned travel, you know, free transportation to the airport is that the schedule that they set up for us to go home, they wanted us to leave for the airport 4 hours before our flight. And the San Jose del Cabo airport is small. Security is pretty fast unless you're traveling on maybe, you know, some of the busiest days of the year right before Thanksgiving or something like that. You know, we were traveling during spring break. We had no problem whatsoever. So we actually canceled our reservation going home. And what we did is we called an Uber and For most of the big resorts, because of where they're located along kind of the corridor of the ocean heading from San Jose del Cabo all the way down to Cabo San Lucas, a lot of them have private entrances. So you might have to haul your bags out of your hotel to the main street, but it's usually not that big of a deal, and most of the lobby employees or bellboys will tell you if Uber can come in or not. They don't really care. So they'll say, oh yeah, just walk over to that corner. That's where they'll meet you. And getting back to the airport, it was super cheap and easy, and they don't have to drop you off back at that convenience store. They can take you right up to your departure gate, and it's no big deal. So I think that's a really wonderful thing available for getting around in Cabo and San Jose del Cabo. There's lots to do, so you don't want to just stay on your resort. You know, San Jose del Cabo has a super cute little downtown area where you can do a lot of shopping, get some souvenirs, things like that. And if you want to go into Cabo San Lucas, there's also shopping. There is kind of a spring breaky vibe, you know, kind of a younger crowd tends to go to downtown Cabo. But you can easily, if that's not your vibe, you can easily avoid those areas, and there's actually some really nice, you know, high-end restaurants and places to go to that aren't necessarily the, you know, crazy stereotypical spring break type of college kids. The other things to do, some fun things to do in Cabo, is definitely do a sunset cruise, take it out to the arch. It's really beautiful. You could do a glass bottom boat. They're very inexpensive, and see all of the fish. They'll also take you out to the arch. It'll just be a little rocky because the bigger boats are making so many waves. And it's a wonderful place to go on vacation. It's very affordable. There's resorts in kind of every single price range you can imagine. And it is now, especially having Uber in Cabo, it's a very convenient place to get around and navigate. Every driver we've ever had while we've been in Cabo has been bilingual in English and Spanish, and so that's always been super convenient, and I highly recommend it as a destination. And especially now that it's so easy to get around, you should definitely go and get off the resort and go have some fun in Cabo. So if you have any questions about Cabo, definitely put those in the comments below. Subscribe to this channel. I have some reviews about resorts in Cabo. I have a review, kind of a little how-to if you're planning a destination wedding in Cabo. And we'll be going there again in the future because we love Cabo. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.